Hello everyone, back during today's second video. Really late with today's second video, so we'll try and rattle through everything as quickly as I can. We're already on the 5-day forecast. You can find the video down here on the homepage. Just scroll down the page a bit, it's underneath the link ads. And there's also a written version, you get that via buttons at the top of the page. Going to be some very warm weather to start off with in the next 5 days, then it'll turn a bit cooler. And it's going to be a bit changeable over the coming 5 days as well. But I'll let you have a look at that and see what you think. This video is extending out beyond the 5-day forecast period in towards sort of 5 to 10 days away. We'll also have a look at the Bayesian Climate Centre very quickly for the next 40 days. So I will not talk about anything else, just rattle through. We're going to start off with GFS temperature and precipitation ensembles the next couple of weeks. The red line here is the that's the 30-year temperature average, and in terms of the upper air temperatures, very significantly above average at the moment. Going to be staying that way towards the end of the week. Then things are going to turn a little bit cooler there as we go through to the end of the week. But overall, a very mild period coming up through the first week of April. Lots of mild weather coming through. We are getting a few cold outliers appearing now for the second week of April. That's this period just here. You'll notice there are quite a few ensemble members that are turning quite cold. I'm not sure what these ensemble members are picking up on. Well, obviously they're picking up on colder weather for the second week of April, but I'm not quite sure how they're getting. I've not been through the ensembles yet. I suspect most of these would be northerly snaps, because it's very difficult to get genuinely cold conditions from the east now. It's too late really to get very cold easterlies. So I suspect most of those are northerlies. They are a very extended range of the GFS ensembles, so I wouldn't necessarily be taking them too seriously. Obviously, if they're still showing up tomorrow and Friday, we'll start to think a little bit more about them. But certainly through to the end of the first week of April, which is this period just here, looks like it's staying generally quite mild. As far as precipitation is concerned, a fair amount of dry weather coming up. There will be some showery rain at the end of the week and into the weekend. And then again, perhaps around the middle of next week. But overall, quite a bit of dry weather extending out to the first week of April and fairly mild. That's reflected in the temperature anomalies for the next week. This going from the 29th of March to 6th of April. It's coming out milder than average. Notice really cold over in central parts of Russia. But for us here in the UK and many parts of Europe, we're coming out generally milder than average. Precipitation shows that the anomaly is a bit wetter than average for Scotland in the next week. For England and Wales, coming out drier than average. Here's the GFS for Sunday then. We've got a little bit of a ridge there extending across the country on Sunday. That strengthens into Monday ahead of this area of low pressure. So there should be a fair amount of dry weather to the early part of next week. And then that little trough comes down across the country Monday into Tuesday, possibly means some rain, high pressure building behind it. And then the high pressure firmly taking over through the middle part of next week. Really big anticyclone, 1,035 millibars, bringing back warm temperatures and loads of dry weather as well into the second half of next week. And this takes us to day 10, Saturday the 8th of April, by which time looks like that ridge is beginning to weaken again as low pressure's trying to come back in off the Atlantic. That's a very long way out. And certainly through the first week of April, we continue to get quite a lot of dry weather. ECWF looks like this, so a bit of a trough coming down across the country Saturday into Sunday, then the ridge building. I think Sunday's going to be the best day of the weekend. There will be some showers on Saturday. I think Sunday has the best of the dry weather. You'll find out more about that in the 5-day forecast anyway. As we go through the course of next week, so Tuesday's a little bit more unsettled. And then the ridge comes back from the Azores high as we go through into Wednesday, when a large area of high pressure is taking over through the second half of next week. This is Friday, 7th of April. Big ridge there centred over many parts of Europe. And that continues up to day 10, which is Saturday the 8th of April. Lots of dry weather. But notice that ridge is beginning to build a little bit towards the north. It's starting to go up here, up towards Greenland. That might be the mechanism by which some of those GFS ensemble members are bringing down northerly winds. As I say, I haven't been through those ensemble members yet, so I don't know how they're producing that cold weather for the second week of April. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's via northerlies. But of course, that's a very long way out, and it's not worth being all that concerned about yet. But obviously, if we was to get a cold snap, sometime around the second week or the middle of April would be significant, because the gardens and wildlife farms are really springing into life now, so you don't really want cold weather in the middle of April. Just run through the Beijing Climate Centre for the next 40 days, 500 metre height, so we've got the ridge in the next 10 days down to the south. Low pressure is up to north. This is taking us from the 1st to the 10th of April, by the way. Jet streams going up there, so it's a good reflection of what we was just looking at. Really lots of dry weather coming up, particularly through the first week of April, fairly mild too. The second 10-day period, taking us from the 11th through to the 20th of April. Still hints of above average heights around the UK. Low pressure is up to the north, and the jet stream is going up there as well. So a fair amount of dry and settled weather coming up during that 10-day period. Then it looks like the Beijing Climate Centre wants to turn things more unsettled than the final 10 days of April. This is the 21st to the 30th of April. Low pressure is coming in off the Atlantic. This ridge up to the northeast is weakening, so I think that is turning more unsettled. It's turning more changeable as well there for the latter stages of April. And when we go through to the final 10 days, which is the 1st to the 10th of May, and we've got low pressure taking over, so this is turning significantly more unsettled as we're going through into the start of May with the Beijing Climate Centre. So 40 days of two halves, really. The first 20 days, if you like, has lots of dry weather. The second 20 days is significantly more unsettled. Keep in mind, long-range forecasting is always highly experimental, and it's not to be relied upon. Coming back to the next week to 10 days, I think we're going to have plenty of dry weather. There will be some showery rain at times, particularly focused on Friday and Saturday. As go through into next week, again, there could be some showers early on, especially around Tuesday. After that, high pressure builds strongly to deliver a lot of dry and pretty warm weather as we're going through into the second half of next week. And then beyond that, it's a little bit more uncertain for the second week of April. We'll focus on that tomorrow. Right, that's all for now. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out 5-day forecast. Bye for now.